This week's podcast brought to you by the Beefy Boys, three cool dudes hanging out talking about music, video games, and sports, and anything else that hits our fancy.
Check them out at www.beefyboys.com or on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Yeah. If you love their logo, you can buy their merch, www.cafepress.com/beefyboysmerch1.
And oh, baby, you know you're going to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Find us on Twitter at Beefy_Boys, and you can find us on Instagram at Official Beefy Boys, because it is official. Make us blue check marked, keep following us, and you can find us on Facebook at the Beefy Boys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Beefy.
What's up, knuckleheads? Welcome to episode 88 of the Beefy Boys Bud Club. I'm Joe, and I'm joined here with Vito.
What up?
And just Vito. Christian's MIA again. Shocking. All right. We were just talking about, let's get right into it, I guess. Final Fantasy XIV, since there's another Joe and Vito show. We actually haven't been playing that much because it's a bit of a content lull, as it were. But there was some big news this week. Apparently, the game is going free to play all the way up through level 60, which includes its first expansion. So that's about, what would you say, 100 hours of content if you just mainline it?
At least, probably, yeah.
They also, there was a live letter. They announced they're changing, so they're taking out about 15% of the quests from original, from 2.0. And they're adjusting the XP gains so you spend less time.
You know what?
In the early
I wonder if because of all the changes they're doing, that's why they're making it free to play now.
To try and entice
is so that try to entice people who left because of the leveling experience, and then have them come back for free, and then hopefully continue playing.
Yeah. When I saw it went free to play, because the headlines are all it goes free to play. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna have to keep paying my $15. No, of course I am. It's only free to play through level 60. I'm like, well.
Honestly, I'd rather do.
I have two characters in the 70s already, or two classes rather. Come on.
But yeah, I'd rather do subscription than free to play anyway, because free to play always ends up going either pay to win or just it's ridiculous. What the subscription does is that it makes it so their main monetary source is from more people being subscribed, which means they have to make their game good in order to get money.
Well, that's always been the, iPhone games are a wasteland now, but back, a free-to-play game ends up costing you more just because of everything's time-gated and there's ads all the time, whereas if I just can pay $3 to play Tetris or whatever, I'd rather do that, but that's not even an option anymore. It's just all free to play because they somehow make more money. It's dumb, and the whole model is built. Oh, it's so stupid. The idea of a whale in a free to play game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so dumb. So to the uneducated, they don't care if you or your son spends $3. That's not what they're after. They're after what they want is what happened with Clash of Clans. Or a couple others where 4 or 5 billionaires get really into it and spend tens of thousands of dollars trying to one up each other. That's the point. It's so dumb. It's literally where all their money comes from. It's just so stupid. As I drink my coffee. So there was some sports news. Joe and Vito are going to talk about sports now. Now, Vito, I'm excited to reveal this to you because you haven't heard about it. So, the Seattle NHL team name was announced this week, as was the rename of the Washington, D.C. professional football team, which used to be hella racist. So, I will give you some hints here. People love the Seattle team name because it's unique. And I have for you a list of all of the recent team names in all the 5 major sports, including MLS. So, the most recent MLB team, when the Montreal Expos moved to Washington, D.C., do you know what they called themselves?
What's that?
The Washington Nationals. About as boring as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
The NFL most recent expansion team was 2002 in Houston, Texas. Do you know what that team is called?
What's that?
That would be the Houston Texans.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my point. As boring as possible, yeah. The NBA actually has some semi-interesting ones with the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Charlotte Bobcats, and the New Orleans Pelicans. But even those are not great. The OKC Thunder is okay, but that was 2008. That was 12 years ago, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What else I got? The last NHL team before the Seattle team was the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Snooze. They wanted to call themselves the Knights, but they got overruled. They had to go Golden Knights. And then this is the best one. There have been 11 MLS teams introduced between 2015 and 2023. These are their names. Ready? These are so boring. New York City FC, Orlando City SC, Atlanta United FC, Minnesota United FC, Los Angeles FC, FC Cincinnati, Inter Miami CF, Nashville SC, Austin FC, Charlotte FC, and Sacramento Republic FC. Very
wow.
So that history lesson of all of the recent team names. Let's start with the Washington, D.C. So Washington, D.C.'s football team was incredibly racist. I'm not going to repeat it. They changed it. They announced for this year only. Do you know what they're going to be called?
What?
They're going to be called the Washington Professional Football Team. That's their official name. So the NFC East consists of the New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Washington Football Team. They showed off their new uniforms and logos, and they literally look exactly the same. They just took out the racist caricature and put a number there instead. I'm like, you guys... Like, I get you don't want to rush creating a new team name, but come on. This is terrible. All right, so given that, when the Seattle team name was announced, people lost their minds. I'm pulling up the uniform images so I can send them to you. 1 second. So, Seattle had a team that won like the 1917 World Cup. That was called the Seattle Metropolitans. People were worried that was going to be the name. Some other popular ones, the Seattle Totems, the Seattle Thunderbirds, the Seattle Sockeyes. None of those were the answer. The team is called the Seattle Kraken.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and check out those... Click on that link I sent you. Check out those uniforms. They look awesome. So the internet is like losing their mind over this. I even told R, like, I don't even really like hockey. I'm not really a sports guy anymore, gasp, but I haven't watched sports in a while. Except marble sports. I'm big into the Marble League. But I might buy some Kraken merch just because it looks so cool. Although the memes started immediately, right? Because the team is called the Kraken. So, of course, the fans will be crackheads, right? Also,
sure.
The logo kind of looks like Trogdor. Like from Homestar Runner. You know? Are you familiar with Homestar Runner?
No.
Oh, man. Well, the Trogdor memes are getting to me. The other really cool thing about this uniform, the anchor on the anchor patch on the shoulders, the Space Needle. I don't know if you can see that, but the Space Needle.
I remember Trogdor.
Yeah.
I just Googled the images. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the Seattle Kraken. And they kept it a secret. And this was like, apparently they were really sneaky because, like, people have wanted to know what this team name will be for 2 years. So some of the stuff they did, well, typically people will scour like copyright requests.
Yeah.
Oh, they requested this name. That must be the name. Also, same thing with domain names, URLs. So the people in charge of this team just registered a bunch. Like they filed copyright paperwork for the Sockeyes and the Totems and the Kraken. And internally, they were referring to the team as the Cascades, just in all paperwork to keep anything from leaking. They pulled it off for 2 years.
That's funny.
Yeah. It looks awesome. It's very exciting. I wish there was a little green. It looks a lot like the University of Maine logo, but I'm very excited for this. Not that we're ever going to have sports again in the modern age. I just couldn't believe Washington professional football team. Sorry, I just couldn't believe Washington professional football team, you know?
Yeah, Jesus.
That shit. That's garbage.
People get paid to come up with that shit.
I know. Well, their owner is like the worst. I mean, they're also getting like Me Too, their whole organization for like their frat boy culture and like, you know, the way they're treating female reporters and all this other stuff. But
what does that have to do with their lack of imagination?
Well, because I'm getting the ownership is just the worst, right?
Oh, right. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah, not up with the modern. The only reason they're changing the name is because FedEx and all their sponsors threatened to pull out of like naming rights. And apparently I was incorrect. I said a few weeks ago that the copyright got rescinded and anyone could sell their merch. Apparently that decision got overturned in 2018. So they do own the copyright on that racist logo. But Amazon pulled all their products off its stores. And FedEx said they're going to rescind naming rights for the stadium. So they were just losing money hand over fist over this racist-ass name. And even when they released the statement, they were like very much annoyed about it, you know? They're like, this has been our team name forever. And they said it like 6 times. Like, guys, it's time to move on. Like you can keep everything about the team. You can keep the color scheme, burgundy and gold. Sure, that works for you. You just got to change the name. It's time. Embrace it. Go with something cool. You know?
Yeah.
Be like
what was it before, by the way?
Or something. Could you imagine if a professional team came out named as the Hrothgar?
That'd be pretty funny.
Or like the Lalafell. I would fucking love it. Oh.
What was the team named before, by the way?
The racist one?
Yeah.
It was the Redskins.
Oh, God.
I know. And people are casually saying that. In 2020, like, are you kidding me? This is so racist. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Washington football team, huh? So what else have you been up to? I've just been playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima. It's really good. It makes me want to watch samurai movies now.
I've been playing Here's the Storm with the boys. I've been playing World of Warcraft.
I saw you were playing WoW Classic this morning, huh?
Yeah, apparently the guys I play Here's the Storm with were semi-interested in playing Classic, so I'm catching up to one of their levels.
So are you actively? I mean, I know you're out of Final Fantasy for a couple weeks at least, till the new patch. But are you like maintaining levels in WoW, regular WoW Classic, and Final Fantasy XIV? How do you do that in 3 MMOs? That's crazy.
Well, I was basically only playing Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
And I played in BFA and launch before Shadowbringers came out.
Okay.
And so I was already at max level.
I got you.
So I just came back and like caught up to the end game through some patches.
I see.
And I'm not maintaining through Classic. No, I just created the character today.
Oh. I just know you played some at launch and saw you playing today.
Oh yeah, no, I like started playing it for like 2 seconds at launch. I feel like I didn't have anyone I really wanted to play with, and so there was no reason to play it.
I see.
I was gonna start playing it with my brother actually at some point, but he never like communicated properly with me to actually get started playing.
Yeah. I got to imagine it's it's Classic, so it's got to be the social aspects and stuff, like pairing with people who are disparate levels can't be as easy as it is in like Final Fantasy XIV, for example, right?
Well, actually, like Well, so it's one of two things, right? So like, if you're really high level and you get you get up to like the level for the first dungeon or whatever, then they can just run you through the dungeon and get you a shit ton of XP without you doing anything. But they also don't get anything for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So they'd have to do it just out of the kindness of their heart.
The level sync system is actually pretty good. Although I feel like I've learned bad habits from because I literally have no idea how like half of my skills work as Scholar, just because I've spent so much time. All I do is run MSQ roulette for absurd amounts of XP and tombstones. And so I'm like level 75, and I really have not paid much attention to what any of my skills do since like level 40. So I'm like, I gotta watch a video on how to actually play this class. Because if I ever get put in like a at level dungeon, I'd get destroyed. I'm like, damn it. I'm really good at low level healing when I don't have to do anything.
Scholar's also kind of hard too.
Is it? I just like the pet. We had this enormous table in the kitchen in our breakfast nook, and yesterday we took it out. We had to take it apart, and people keep coming by thinking about taking it. It's a really nice looking table. It's just way too fucking big for the house. Also, get this. You know that bamboo that I had you come over and help me try and chop down that one day?
Yeah.
Apparently, totally serendipitously, our Ozone Free Cycle, we found this guy whose post was like, looking for bamboo, will cut. So what he wanted, he wanted bamboo for a project. I'm like, I got bamboo. Go ahead and come over. He came over yesterday. He's like, I was really looking for thicker stalks. I can see him in the back. I'll cut all this down to get to those thicker stalks. We're like, really? He's like, yeah. He's apparently a retired gardener who just is looking for something to do. He's like, can I dig up some of the starters? I'm like, you can take as much of it as you want.
Yeah.
He also looked at a fig tree. He's like, can I dig up some of them fig starters too? And I'm like, yeah, we were just going to cut them down. So take them. So yeah, it was very serendipitous. This guy's willing to not only cut down the bamboo, but do it for free. Damn.
One man's trash.
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff we cut down to the ground level is like 6 feet tall already. It's crazy. And I can't even cut it the same way because it's like 6 feet tall, but it's like pencil thin, you know? So like, the machete is even more useless now, and the lopper is not great because unless I can get like 5 or 6 in there. I bought a pair of head shears that work pretty well, but if this guy's willing to do it for us, then it works for me. I couldn't believe it. It was the luckiest thing ever. I've also been spending an absurd amount of money on things for my cats. How many cats is too many cats, Vito?
3.
3? Dozen? They're just the sweetest little kittens, I swear. Like, literally every day. I don't know what it is. I'm like an anxious cat dad. I'm convinced that they're going to start hating each other or that they're super nervous or whatever. And so every day when they're like wrestling, I look up, are my kittens fighting? And then I realize, nope, they're just playing. They're just being cats. They love us. One of them started coming to the bed for snuggles. So that's cool. The other one's a little feistier, I bet. They're great. I can't imagine life without my little monsters. Everyone at the vet's office loves the fact that we named them Shiva and Bahamut, by the way.
That's funny.
Although, I will admit, Bahamut is a difficult name to pronounce, apparently, for non-Final Fantasy players.
I was about to say, really?
Bahamut, I got a lot. Which I looked it up. First of all, I didn't realize this until a couple days ago, but Bahamut is how you pronounce it in Arabic, is from mythology.
Well, yeah, I feel like most of those names are from something.
I mean, it's mostly bastardizations, right? Like Ifrit is a bastardization of Ifrit, which is a type of genie. And what's the other one? Shiva is a warrior god in Hindu. It's like a dude with a sword. Okay. It's not a sexy ice lady.
The destroyer.
Yeah, the destroyer. Yeah, I know. Bahamut is, in like traditional Arabic folklore, is the whale upon which the turtle upon which the earth lives is holding up.
No, it means precious angel.
It does not mean precious angel.
Yes, it does.
So that's a fun fact. What else has been going on? Ghost of Tsushima is really good. I know you don't play open world games, but it's really good. Yeah.
I'd probably play an open world game with somebody. I mean, I guess that's why I play MMOs.
Well, yeah, but it's not multiplayer. It's a single player game.
I just, unless it has a very like streamlined, like Shadow of Mordor was open world, but I don't remember exactly, but
It was.
it had lots of exploration in it.
It had
Yeah, it had lots of exploration in it,
Yeah.
but I just didn't do it.
Did you play?
And I really liked that game.
Did you play Breath of the Wild?
I have not yet, no.
I think it's overrated, but I love open world games. It has cool parts. My dorky kitten was so into snuggling my wife, it almost fell off its cat tree.
That's funny.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's so funny. They're sisters and they love each other, but they have such distinct cat personalities, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They're such characters. Such characters. Ugh. Thinking about getting them a second cat tree, but I think I might be spoiling them. Like I said, I spend so much money on cat stuff.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Anything they want.
What's that?
They can have anything they want.
They can have anything they want. Yeah.
Yeah,
Our little babies. I don't got what else to talk about. Yeah, I bought a new board game. I haven't played it yet. One day, when quarantine is over, when we have a vaccine, we'll play board games again, Vito.
Yeah.
In 2025.
Yeah. No.
I was opposed to it, but I was convinced otherwise. We had our first family get-together last weekend.
Wow.
It was Ara's brother has moved in with Ara's mom for a few weeks. Just because he's living in LA and it's fucking crazy down there. Like, they've just given up. So he's staying with the mom for a few weeks. So we went over there. We had a backyard barbecue. We sat on one side of the backyard. They sat on the other. If we had to walk near each other, we had our masks on. It was fine.
Yeah, I mean, there is, like, social distance, like, get-togethers.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Sure.
Like
There's
my
four people in a backyard. We did go inside, but when we were inside, we all had our masks on. And it was four of us. I still can't believe the bars are open. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Although the Monkey Pub, our little neighborhood bar, just closed again. Yeah. Well, they said they were too tiny to keep it running, and apparently, I can't remember, something like the rules only allowed dine-in service if it's patio seating, and they didn't have any patio seating, so they're like, well, fuck it.
Bummer.
That's what me and Ara are like, do you remember restaurants? I miss restaurants. It's not the same getting the food brought to you. It's like lukewarm, and like something's fucked up always, you know? Not to talk shit about Postmates, but like they always fuck something up.
Yeah, we've been using Uber Eats.
Same thing. It's the same people. I mean, it's, you know.
Does it really?
Yeah. Most of the time, those drivers drive for every one of those, you know. I've
Oh,
definitely
yeah,
had
true.
like my Postmates food delivered in a DoorDash bag. Like,
That's funny.
actually, recently Uber Eats bought Postmates, so it really is just the same people now. I like Grubhub, although I'm not allowed to eat at Taco Bell anymore for political reasons. God, that makes me so mad.
I don't like
What?
the food.
You don't like Taco Bell?
Yeah.
I just, I know this isn't a political podcast, but the whole thing with the Goya beans, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
What? I don't know what actually happened.
You didn't see this? Oh
No.
my god. All right, so Ivanka Trump posts a photo of her holding a can of Goya beans, like saying the Goya logo. Because
Oh,
apparently the president of Goya said that the country would be lost without the Trumps. And then everybody came out and was like, you can't do this. Like, it's literally an ethics violation for anyone from the first family to post, or anyone in the administration, rather, because she has a job, to post in support of a commercial product. Like, that's just not allowed. So then Trump took a photo with, like, the creepiest smile and the whole spread of Goya products in front of him. And I'm like, what is happening? So now you're making a political statement if you buy Goya beans. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what is 2020? Jesus Christ. I know this might come off as very pretentious and privileged, but I didn't need to know the politics of the people who ran the Goya Corporation. I'm not happy that the fact of that both eating and not eating Goya products is now a political statement. Like, can we just chill out? Everyone, just calm. We have a fucking pandemic to fight, right?
seriously.
Again, whatever. Christian's not here. I can do whatever I want. The fucking federal government is snatching people off the street to black site prisons, and they just landed in Seattle. Seattle. The protests last night were out of control. It's everything had died down, and then now Trump's stirring the fires and making it worse again. And again, we're in the middle of the second wave of this fucking virus, guys. Like, I just want to be able to leave my house again, for God's sake.
Yeah, seriously.
I just love the memes. Like, where's all those NRA gun-toting assholes who said they needed these guns in case a tyrannical government started snatching people off the street? Because it's literally happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my political rant. Christian will never listen to this anyway, so ha. I don't think anybody listens to this thing, honestly. Are you out there? Listeners, if you're out there, can you ping me on any form of social media? You can email me. I want to know if anybody's listening to this thing. I listened to it like 3 times, but I'm just curious,
Have you looked at our specs lately?
Yeah, we get like 12 to 15 downloads an episode. And I think that's just people who are subscribed because it just downloads automatically, I know my mom listens to it. Hi, Mom. I know you still listen to this thing. This isn't a statement about, I love our audience, and I'm going to keep doing this because I like hanging out with you, Vito. It's just, I know for a fact, like, everyone's podcast numbers are down. My podcast listening is down to the point where I have to, like, force myself to listen to podcasts. It's like, no, it's time to play Rocket League so I can have, like, half an hour to catch up on podcasts.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like the most intense podcast listener in the world, and even I can't find time for it. I can't imagine the people who just casually do it in the car or on the bus,
Yeah, like, I definitely have to, like, sit down and find time to, like, listen to the other podcast that I listen to.
Yeah. What's it about? Let me guess. World of Warcraft?
D&D.
D&D. Oh. I also recently found out that Bahamut was a dragon in Dungeons & Dragons before Final Fantasy, so. Have you been watching The Last Dance on Netflix? I can't imagine you have, because it's a basketball documentary, but it's actually fascinating. Even Aura's gotten into it. She hates basketball.
That's funny.
I guess to round out our sports topic, the Marble League is in full effect. My team, the O-Rangers, are currently leading the standings. I've gotten my wife deep into it, so, like, every day the new events come out, we, like, root on our 2 teams. She's a Raspberry Racers fan. They're in 5th, which isn't bad. There's 16 teams, so they're almost on a medal. But my O-Rangers are in first place. So. Actually, there's a new event today at noon, the sand race. That should be a good one. The triathlon was on Wednesday, and our team almost made it to the finals, but got passed in the water leg. So
I think it's so funny that you're, like, so seriously into marble racing.
I joked to Aura that I was gonna get her some merch. They show this stuff on ESPN, man. John Oliver did a segment on it, and he's sponsoring it, which is so funny. Because every time it's like, oh, the 2020 Marble League brought to you by Last Week Tonight. It's like, oh yeah,
That's hilarious.
forgetting about that. Oh man. I just got a new board game about birds. The bird game, you might say. Heyo. Oh yeah, I promised to give my students a shout out because I don't know. Oh, I did. I did tell the story how like update the Beefy Boys has been on my to-do list forever. We've started Project 2 now, and I was using the Beefy Boys project that I am working on as an example of how to structure your files. And I was getting some weird looks, and somebody was like, "What is the Beefy Boys?" I'm like, "It's my podcast. It's nothing untoward." And then I saw the Spotify link get passed around. So if anybody's listening, hello.
Well, hello.
All right, we have half an hour of nonsense. That's pretty much all I have to talk about.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything? Got kittens. They love each other. They love their cat tree. What else? That's it.
We got our cat a like face scratcher. It's a thing that you can put on the corner of a wall.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah. Does she like it?
No, it fell off the wall.
Oh.
And she didn't really rub her face on it at all yet.
Do you cut her nails at all?
We're thinking of fixing it up and putting some catnip in it or something. No, we don't.
Do you have a scratching post? She just kind of takes care of it herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how we are. I don't want to have to cut their nails. I'm too nervous. I'm going to make them bleed. It's too easy. And I don't want to take them to the groomer either because social distance reasons, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't brought her to the vet once since we got her, or maybe just once, but it wasn't for like clipping or anything.
Oh my god,
And she's
we went. I guess I could tell this story. We went to the vet this week. It was weird. First of all, getting an appointment is like impossible because everyone is adopting new pets and spending more time with their pets, so they just like are freaking out. So they say when you adopt a new kitten, you should take them to the vet within the first week. We had to wait 2. But we took them in, and the whole system was weird. It was like, all right, sit in your car and text us. We'll text you when we're going to come get the cats. So I had to like open the back of the trunk and then walk away. Then they took our kittens, and I'm just waiting in the car to get texted and called. And they're like, yeah. They asked me any health concerns. I said, honestly, no. They're super chill. They seem happy and healthy. The guy's like, yep, that's pretty much it. Cool. They got all their vaccines. They're good for a year. I'm like, oh, okay. Then he asked me to bring him some poops, which I was going to do this weekend, but forgot. And he gave me some deworming stuff, but they don't have worms. So I think it's just a precaution they do for everybody. But yeah, it was weird. It was so weird. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, our cat is so talkative. It's pretty funny. Just like whenever we're nearby, she'll go meow, and she'll also like often just be like meow meow meow.
Did she ever do
meow,
that like trilling, chirping sound?
Oh, all the time. She'll like run up to the window and start meow at the fucking
the chattering sound.
Birds and stuff.
I meant the like high pitched purr sound. It literally sounds like.
What?
My kittens talk to each other that way.
Oh.
I looked it up. Apparently, that's just like a friendly hello. Typically, so a meow is how cats talk to humans. They don't talk to each other that way. And it kind of is a catch-all. It literally could mean anything. You have to pay attention to like the tone and context.
Totally.
But that chirping sound is almost always happy. Also, if a cat likes you, its tail will stick up when it sees you or when it walks at you.
Yeah, our cat loves us.
Yeah.
But she was attention starved before we adopted her.
She was a what?
Attention starved before we adopted her, so she's really into attention.
I see, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I can pick her up and turn her upside down and rub her belly.
Aw. Having 2 is great because they like run each other ragged, you know?
That's great, yeah.
Like,
if we were actually planning on probably getting 2 kittens.
Yeah.
And then this cat just kind of landed in our lap through circumstance, so. And we didn't want to risk getting another cat and then not getting along.
Yeah, I got you. That's why, like, the place I got these 2 from only lets out kittens under 6-month-old in bonded pairs anyway, which is what Ara wanted. So it works well. Like they already
Oh,
loved
I
each
have
other.
some good news. There was a COVID FEMA grant that I got my first check for. So that's good news.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yes.
I hear talk about a second stimulus payment. I don't know if it's going to happen. Another
That
$1,200.
would be nice.
Yeah.
They should make it weekly.
At least monthly. $1,200 a week? Yeah, right.
Hey, they're getting like $2,000 a week in fucking other countries.
Well, it's $2,000 a month in Canada. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, that's how much I make when
I know. It's, well, it's all backward,
Yeah.
Again, not a political show, but the Republicans didn't want to extend unemployment benefits because you could make more with the $600 a week on unemployment than you would making minimum wage, which tells me that minimum wage should just be higher, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, don't take away the fucking benefits. Just fucking make minimum wage higher.
And American society is so fucked that like somebody working a minimum wage job gets pissed off at somebody else whose unemployment benefits are more than they're making. Like you're angry at the wrong person. Like,
Exactly.
Here's a fun fact for you. If you have $100 million, you're closer to being broke than you are to being a billionaire. All right, like people, how much money $1 billion is lost on people because it's such a big number. You have $400 million, you're closer to being broke than being a billionaire. Chew on that, Jesus. All right,
man. I could probably retire with just like $1 million.
$1 million isn't that much.
It's quite a lot, actually.
It's a big amount of money, but it's not enough to retire on. If you think, I know your wife doesn't work full time, but if we assume you're both you were working full time at $15 an hour, that's about $60K a year, right? No,
not even close.
$30K, $30,000 a year. So $1 million, you'd make that in 30 years, right?
Yeah, that's basically retiring.
No, if you stopped working now and assumed that would be your next 30 years of income, that would last you until your mid-50s. You got 30 more years of life after that. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe if I'm lucky, I have 30 more years of life.
2 million, sure.
Yeah, 2 million.
Take it to like 80.
But still.
Or maybe $1 million in a house.
What's crazy for me is if you have $400 million, you're still closer to broke than you are to $1 billion. Then there's people who have billions of dollars, and yet you only need like $2 million for your whole life.
Yeah. I know. It's totally fucked. We live in an oligarchy. It's totally fucked. Fight the power. Black Lives Matter. God, Christian would be so mad if he was here. Oh, man.
It's like we don't like to get political, but sometimes it's just so fucking stupid.
I just have to constantly remind myself I live in a bubble. Like Trump's approval rating still is at like 35-40%. That's 2 out of 5 people. I just can't. Who? How? What?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I do love that he's bragging about this cognitive test, which is like a test they give dementia patients to see if they're have dementia or not, and he passed it. Like literally, that's the whole point. Which includes like a sketch of an elephant and says, "What is this?"
Yeah, no, I mean I know that what that test is. I'm studying medical right now.
Oh yeah. He's like, no, it's really hard. They'll give you like 5 random words, and then 10 minutes later, they'll ask you to repeat them, and you got to get them all right. And I'm like, first of all, no, you don't, because they give you a hint.
Yeah.
Congrats, you passed the test that proves you don't have dementia. Oh my God. I'm an idiot.
I think we'd probably solve a lot of our problems if people who were in office were required to see a psychiatrist.
If we got rid of all the sociopathic politicians, we wouldn't have any politicians left, Vito.
No, if we just change them all.
Oh.
Let's, make them healthy people.
Yeah.
You know.
Jeez. Oh, jeez.
Anywho,
Enough political chit-chat. Chitter-chatter. Where is my other kitten? I think they have found hiding places that I don't know about.
that's probably the case. I still, to this day, sometimes find Novum places, like after looking for an hour. I go through all the usual places where I couldn't find her before, and so every now and then she'll find a new one.
I was trying to make the point how kittens are way easier than puppies because, like, you can mostly leave them alone and they don't really get into trouble. But I forgot about the whole, they will get into spaces that you didn't even know exist. Like
Yeah.
the space on top of your stacked washer dryer below the ceiling that you didn't even realize there was a little gap there. How the hell did you get up there? You know, stuff like that. Ugh. One of my cats loves the bathtub for some reason. I think it's because the bathroom.
Our cat loves the bathtub too.
Yeah, I don't get it.
She also will try to like drink from the sink faucet.
One of them turned the sink on the other day.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, our cat also likes to like get into the sink and like lay down in the sink.
My sister's cat does that. It's weird.
Yeah.
We've built them like cat beds everywhere and so many toys, and still their favorite toy is like a paper bag. Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like cardboard boxes and like crumpled up pieces of paper.
Yeah. I'm trying to embrace this time as kittens because I know it doesn't last long, but they have so much.
Oh, and hairbands.
Oh yeah, hair ties are a big one.
Yeah.
Pens too. They love pens. We have these little balls though, and they will like, you know, our house has a pretty long straight area from the front door to the back door.
Yeah.
So if you stand at the back door and you throw a ball, they'll chase it all the way to the front door. And then what me and Ara do is one of us stands at the front door and one at the back door, and we just throw the balls to each other.
Yeah.
And
My dog will so easily get the zoomies if you like throw a ball. So we'll like throw the ball down the hallway, then start running around, and then we don't even have to throw the ball anymore. We literally just be like throw our hands out in front of us, and she'll get excited and like zip around, and she'll just tire herself out from running in circles around the house.
Yep. It's pretty awesome. And that's the beauty of two too. Like they'll chase each other around all day. It's like a cartoon, you know. Like they'll run into the bedroom with Shiva chasing Bahamut, and they'll come out with Bahamut chasing Shiva. It's like oh man, what little cuties! All right, let's wrap this thing up. We now have 42 minutes of basically nothing. This has been episode 88. Did I want to say 88 of Beefy Boys Bud Club? And I'm Joe, and Vito's here, and I'm really totally flubbing this outro. That's fine. We'll see you knuckleheads next week.
See you.